Well, what makes a good lobster roll? If you ask people, you'll probably get different answers. Lobster salad or plain lobster, hot or cold?
And joining us to help answer some of those questions is owner and chef Kevin Reading from Abbott's Grill in Milford, one of the many chefs taking part in the Delaware Wine and Beer Festival this weekend, which we're going to get to shortly. But first, let's talk lobster.
Sure,
let's
talk it.
One of my favorites. So before we get to everything, explain exactly what ingredients we need to make this dish.
It's pretty basic, actually. Obviously, starting with, I love Maine lobster, so we're doing Maine lobster. What I ended up doing was some celery, finely chopped, chive, red onion. I use fresh tarragon. We're going to use a touch of Tabasco. And this is a new mayonnaise that I just thought I'd have fun with here. And there's a little label for it. It's Kweepy.
Kweepy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what it is, it has a little wasabi in it, so it gives you a little bit of a kick to it.
Ooh.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to work. Let's get
Okay.
started.
Well, first of all, what I did with the lobster, I blanched and shocked it. I mean, boiling water and shocking in ice at 8 minutes. And then we're going to break that down right now. We're going to take the tail off, separate the arms, and take the knuckles off. And I'll give you a pair of scissors.
This could get messy.
Yeah, you might want to drain. I always have like a little pan here.
So just drain any liquid that's in there?
Just drain the liquid off.
Okay.
And then we'll take the knuckles here, and you just kind of use it like that and snap the knuckle like that.
I'm so glad you didn't make him kill the lobster
and see how much,
on TV.
No, oh yeah,
he would have cried.
I thought about that.
I would have cried. You're not even joking, Lisa.
Well, that's a great job right there. I didn't see how you did that. But the idea of there, you take the little thumb part off here, and if you're at home and they're larger, what I do generally here is I put a towel over it, and I will take and do one quick little hit up on the reverse side, and then you can crack it open, and then you get the whole beautiful lobster piece
And that's
out.
the best place to get the meat, right there in the claw?
Well, my favorite is the claw meat. You don't get the volume. The tail, most people go after the tail meat.
Okay.
You know, but also with the lobster roll, the New Englanders swear by their regular potato rolls. And what I did here is I just took a regular hot dog roll, if you can get it without it being pre-cut, and you make the cut during the top, and I've done a little clarified butter in the pan here, and we'll get a little more heat here.
Okay.
And what we'll end up doing is we'll just kind of put it in here, we'll let it start baking there.
Okay.
With the meat here, if you, with the knife, can start cutting it down. I've done 2 lobsters ahead of time.
So just cutting it. Now, I'm going to ask you a quick question. The green stuff that's in the lobster, do you need to wash that out, or can it go in it?
It really depends on you. I think it adds flavor.
Okay.
So I tend to use it as much as possible. With the knuckle meat also, if you have a nice pair of shears, if you go in and just kind of make a little cut like that on the knuckles, you can really get, and this meat here is super, super sweet as well.
So there's meat even in there.
Yep, so if you can grab from the knuckle meat as well.
Kevin, you need to put me to work here. What am I doing?
Well, first of all, you have the 2 lobsters already that we've rendered.
Okay, so just
you
put it in here?
can add to that.
Okay.
We have the celery.
All of it?
Yeah, let's add about half of that.
About half of that, okay.
Yeah. With the onions, I have red onion and chive mixed.
About half again?
I would use all that.
Oh, okay.
Fresh tarragon with a little bit of fresh parsley added.
Okay. All of it?
Let's use all that.
Okay.
I have a little tiny bit of dry mustard. You can use about half of that.
Okay.
And we're going to use that after you've already kind of completed that.
Okay.
I'll bring this over here. We're going to do Tabasco, and if we can add the...
Just put all this in?
Just put it right in there.
All right.
Wonderful.
All my hard work.
I use about 5 or 6 good shakes there. If you can do me a couple of slits down the center here, similar to this guy here.
Okay, and
with
mayonnaise?
the mayonnaise, and this is to taste. I mean, there's some other substitution. You kind of use yogurt, but what I generally do is I'm going to start probably with maybe 1/3 of a cup.
Okay. And then just take one of these and stir it up here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and stir it up. We're going to add a tiny bit of salt and pepper.
Now, when you guys are doing that, we'll tell everyone there are several ways you can get the shopping list and instructions on how to make this recipe. You can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to 1729 North Salisbury Boulevard, Salisbury, Maryland, 21801. You can also go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab, or call 443-880-9116.
All right, so we're going to put this together.
Right.
And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the Wine and Beer Festival. And what goes well with this lobster, of course, wine or beer. And there will be plenty of it at this weekend's Delaware Wine and Beer Festival.
Coming up, what's new this year at the event and why it's much more than just drinks and food. Delmarva Life will be right back.